Hello. Oh, I had it going on and I forgot to even put it up. I've got so much on my mind, so much. I don't like feeling people that have no nonsense or think they know it all or I love the challenges, believe me, I do. And I love proving them wrong and then they turn on you. It could be family or friends, but I pray for them. So just wait for a few more people. Oh, hola, JP, ¿cómo está mi hermano? Holding bebé me. Qué linda. Dale un pasito. Gracias. Thank you for coming. I'm just waiting for a few more people. She está cranky. ¿Cuántos años? ¿Cuántos meses ella? Ella está en 2 meses, ¿verdad? ¿O 3? Ok. Trae de an earache. I have 484. I'm almost to 5. And then when I go up to 5, and if the person messaged me on one of the videos and put in caps with lots of balloons, say your first, and then I will pick maybe three people. I will select 3 people gifts if I can find out who. I am doing good. She's Catholic. Guess me. I'm doing okay. I am. I'm able to walk more. My mind is ready to travel. I will be leaving. Today's 7. Yes. 19 more days to go. I'll be back east doing some investigation. There's also a state park I want to go. And I do want to check it out because they were saying something about si tengo ahí mucho de, ¿cómo se llama en el español? Con un reque. Es como se llama un feo de como un blanco, un cricha. So I'm excited to go. And my phone just beeped and says, "Oh, I'm live." Yo tengo un muchacho ahí con asina. But today, it's a new day. It's beautiful. And I love it. able to get up today and enjoy myself and want to allow others to breathe and let's explore the new day with family and excitement. But I will pray for her, la niña, en los todos de familia. I know there's been many speak of, they say the star people, they're coming more down. And from what I've been told, that they have been more towards your way, um, ahí in Africa and the UK. So now I'm just hoping that when the other researchers put more, look into it more than usual. So because there's many sightings that they're saying they're in different aircraft kind of. So I'm like wondering, is it the star people or is it the government? You know, it makes many people's mind think and wonder who is it really? The star people coming down to live here and more on Mother Earth? Or is it just a graphic that they are doing about Mother Earth to see if they can beam down right through the middle? Porque ya tengo mucho water, you know, there's lots and lots of water. But then they like to leave markings all over. Now they were saying that some of the farmers were making the markings, but I don't, you know, the people that I know that have gotten markings, they're too old to do that. And it's very hard. But one of my friends, um, she's from the Black Res. She's a relative, but not my relative. She was married into my relative. And she's in Italy. And she says that the stars people have been doing many light shows and stuff. And when you were, she says, when you go up high where the castle is, because there's a castle on the mountain right there, and you can see different lights. And she says she was wondering because she says, "Oh, you speak of the government always doing something." I said, "Yes, it's true. Ask everyone that researches." And she says, "Well, I went to go with your cousin to the leisures to record documentation because he does the research too. And sure enough, don't say, oh, Griff, how are you, sweetheart? How are you? Okay. Well, 17 more days or 18 more days. And I'll be. But like I was saying in Italy, because they went back. That's where she's actually from, Italy. And she says that on the mountains there has been some new markings, and it's up by the castle. She says in Colorado, Talacala, something I can't pronounce it yet. And it has to do with star people. So I told her, who gave you this information? She says, oh, my papa. and her papa is 95 years old. He's going to be 96, she says, on the 15th. And that he told her the ship looked like an X, and each corner had green and blue lights, and that it looked like a pin was to drop. And then he said he seen red. So maybe they're lasering a drawing on there or making a message. I don't know. But she says that they're going to be there for about a month, and she will inform me. She will email me pictures or information. I said, okay. Because my cousin, my third cousin, he is a researcher, and he is in his late 50s, and he said he will inform me in many things. But for right now, a lot of our researchers have been sent out to different states and a different country. There, one went over towards the Philippines, and they're saying something about there are many different cryptids there that have been taken from the farmers there, and not understanding. But many people say that that when something is taken, like a goat, something's going on more than what it is. So hopefully, things will be giving more information out. So anybody has anything new to say? Man, my nose has been itching right here all the way. Also, too, he had mentioned that the other one looked like a square. And I don't recall the government doing a square one. I know there's a round one, and there's another one that looks almost like a plane, long, but it has the wings this way, so I'm not sure. But there was many drawings about how the wingallows were on there, and I'm like, okay, so where there can be more negative in the forest or the woods, that they can pick up. So when there's negative and in unbearable sources, like animals feeling evil, or have been someone doing some kind of witchcraft or voodoo and harming the animal and want them to get sick, it can happen. And I really don't think that's good, because then how are the animals supposed to keep on living and enjoying what they do, merge the area, But again, a lot of them say the goats or the horses, like the cows, eat right from Mother Earth, of course. Yes, this is important for them to live. But they said for like they've been possessed. Now, again, the Wingalo or Rake and It, Chavaka, or some demon can do it to an animal or to a human being. And then we have to find out what really is causing that human to act this force. But when you are traveling into the woods, the forest, or um, understanding what is there, and I try my best to scissors. I have 3 packages that are ready to go out. One big box that has a pair of shoes and some clothes and little gifts for my great granddaughter that's in 29 Palms, and a protection bag for her, the baby, and my grandson's wife, Samantha. And I have Jennifer's package ready to go. I also have Sparky's ready to go. He's been helping out this team, so he's been unavailable to be on anybody's broadcast or live. But please, everyone, forgive his absence. He will return. He's just been really busy at the moment. So, anybody else want to talk about something or what's going on in the area? I know that many people are saying things about Bigfoot, Sasquatch, Satangas, and some are saying about Dogman and Bigfoots don't run together or acknowledge each other. Every researcher, every person that investigates an area, everyone has different opinions, of course. Any researchers, like professors that have documentations because they've been doing it for many, many years. Okay, I understand that. From what I know is from my learning experience and being there. Actually getting my hands, my feet, the power of my legs to travel up and down many, many mountains. Some people say, and I believe you know who you are because you're always on here and I feel you every time. And then you get off. But you don't like to confront, and you will say what you feel, and you will say what you know, which is fine. But don't go putting dirty stuff about me, and that is unnecessary, because I could talk about your luggages that you have in your past journey. So, and I'm not that kind of a person to go and spread gossip. I will say I am a strong woman. I do accept if I'm wrong, then I admit I'm wrong. But again, I don't put people's laundry anywhere. I do love to talk about Satangas and the Dogman and the It and the Wingalo, the Rake, the Shadow People, the Chavagala. Now, there are giants, there are small village people, there are fairies, there are different orbs, and there are going to be sometimes as you see the speed of light. I have done many, many researches in different areas in this world. I will continue to do what I can, and if I'm allowed to. My journey is that I try to help and I fought for against all different tribal nations is to give the humans, the Americans, more researched and what areas to look at. And because everyone that I know believes in researching on Mother Earth. Mother Earth has so many creatures, more than what you think of. Now, I believe that in time, things will start slowing down. But I don't think at the moment. I still say we have 5 more years of learning more what's in these woods. Now, they have spoken about mermaids. Myself, I've never seen a mermaid. I've seen whales, I've seen sharks, dolphins, um, jellyfish, different color of fishes, different out in the sea or the river. We have many different snakes in this world, different kind of alligators, crocodiles, and there is many, many butterflies that do hang out with the fairies. And many people call them dixies, pixie fairies. There, they said that is there really any leprechauns in this world? Well, how many people do you think that are tall? Or how would I want to put this? The small people. There are many small people in this world, and they are smaller than what we all think. And many people, too, also have that is genetic from family to family. And of course, we have taller humans. But again, many people choose to recognize what is not really truth or want to accept what others are here. Now, we are all here to learn and to understand each other, and everybody has their own ways of knowing who and what. There are many different gifts. There are psychics, there are mediums, and then there are the medicine man and the medicine woman. Again, different cultures. Everyone was brought up different. Some have gifts from it. Just as well as a Satanga has many powerful knowledge of back. Oh, I can go way back that I know of. But I know that 1830s to the 1850s, when natives were, their land was being taken. Tansei, Jess. Much blessings, sweetheart. Thank you for joining. You know, I don't blame nobody. I don't blame any racial. I don't blame the animals or humans. Today I should get my new glasses, and I'm looking forward to that because these ones have been hurting my eyes. But I will say this. Humans make mistakes, right? Or is there going to be one says, I never made a mistake? Or I've never lied? But in some way, every human has made a white lie, a mistake, or don't know how to allow things be in their circle. Now, in certain households, they say, circle, I keep my circle tight. Well, every other person that I know of, or was raised with, or went to school with, um, they had to obey by the rules or the laws of each family. My mother and other relatives that have been around us, we stick together and share everything, all the information or food. if we had more wood, we would share the wood so the other people could stay warm. But when you're out investigating and you're taking your camper or your tent and you want to address how things are, but you're not understanding why so many noise and why is every creature gotta react. Well, that's how their family in the woods in the forest live, you know. That even goes for the cryptid or other entities. We are all trying to live together on Mother Earth. So many people say, oh, I've seen many black cars or vans going back and forth in a certain area, or you see the helicopters or small planes. Because there is an eye in the sky that watches everybody. He even watches me where I live or where I'm from, where the Blackfoot Mountain. Many people try to say, oh, you're so old, you don't know. Well, I don't feel old. I'm still going to keep walking. I'm still going to be facing whatever comes. But if you're here to learn and understand what is in Mother Earth, then you're in the right place. But if you don't want to hear me, what I got to say, just go on to the next live of someone else or another video or turn it off and hang out with your kids or your animals. Or, in fact, go out and squatch if that's what's necessary. But people that understand who I am and what I do, and I do for the joy because I love what I do. I love doing the research and I love speaking to the animals. Yes, I even speak to the ones that want to touch our souls and eat us up. But that's okay because I tell myself that in time, many people don't understand and they want to make it more of a fantasy for them, I guess. But sometimes you have to listen what their keyword is. Don't worry about the helicopter or government. Useless satellite. Satellites got everybody. Your TV, even if it doesn't show a little camera, there's a built-in one. I'll tell you that. You're on your computer, your phone, tablet. Government's got you. They're peekabooing. I will say this. A friend of ours, he's a retired service fella. Been in there doing many things for the government. And he said he was forced to retire. And he has spoken. He says, you're right, Bear Claw. You're right. There is a lot of things the government don't say. But yet they want to take away many programs for people, myself or you. Now, I'm going to stop there. I'm going to share some stuff. I got an email saying, oh, so you're 100% Native. Yes. And what is the deal with that? What interests you? Oh, so you collect money. No. From my mother to my grandmother and my great-grandmother. No. Never received a dime. Never signed no documents. This is what my tribal people tell me, my relatives. You need to sign. No, I'm not. I worked hard all my life being a nurse and being an attorney for the tribal nation, for all tribals. I believe earning that income because I don't need some American or anyone, any human come up to me and tell me, oh, you're a wetback or you need your immigration paper. Excuse me, I was born here in America. In fact, I was born in Nevada. Mama came across from all the way from Wyoming to Canton to go to Reno. That's where I was born. And from there, there's Willamaka. There's a reservoir from Willamaka, and it's real small. They don't tolerate negativity. They don't tolerate any hassles of anyone, relative or not, because they believe that living in the open area and to enjoy life, to retire, or to raise children, or allow the freedom of many animals and satangas come and go. I believe that we are not going to always have the same eye to eye or the communication. But I do believe that when we get older, I mean, not older, if the Creator allow us to live further on past 65, then you are blessed, very blessed to continue to do what you need, because it does lead to some that are ill and that need to go. But if you stay strong with your mind and your body, don't allow it to get torn down. Even if you have metal in your body, you've got to continue life. Or say you lost your legs, continue life, don't give up. So this is how people continue to learn. So you always want to make sure that you are who you are, and that I'm going that way. That I pay my taxes. I pay for everything. I don't collect any money from the travel nation for, how do they say, quarterly. Mm-mm. I put that on my heart. I put that with the Father Creator, and I put it with Mother Earth, and I would put it on my satangas, my clans. They all know I don't work for the government. I don't do anything with the government. They know I pay taxes. This is why I tell my children, work hard for you to build, not depend on whoever. Some parents can be a single parent, but raising their children on their own. And I give them props, man or male, female. I give them props for raising their children on their own when the absent parent's not there, or they have to co-parent. It is important that we all understand that we have ability to do. If you cannot work, you're on Social Security, then that's your time. But don't go and email somebody, do you get grants, or are you getting your allowance? No. You know what? My job is, now that I'm retired from my nursing, but still doing law with all tribals, is I do my own business by making native earrings, necklaces, chest plates, chokers, sewing skirts and men's shirts, making moccasins, making medicine, making some balm cream for your lips so they're not cracking or dry, making cream for the face for the women, for the men, or the chapped hands to keep them moist, or neuropathy. And now that is all me doing. Just trying to help that person, the next person to stay strong, be better. Making the protection medicine bags, yes, it bought many, many years to get able to send them out to other people. So when they do their research, they can be strong and protected from other entities, cryptids. And it will also help you with many other things once I pick it up. I choose a color I think it's fit for you. Or you tell me the color. Usually I pick it. But when they tell me they want this kind, then I sew and I pray for it, for that person. That protection medicine bag is only meant for that person, no one else. But this is what I do. And I try to help. Many people come to me and ask me, how can I go through this? How can I handle this? You know, helping someone to relax themselves is very important because the mind can travel more than what it can. And then when you go out in the woods, they can feel you. Many people say, well, you don't know if they can feel me, yes or not. So, of course, they can't. They can tell you when you're down. They can tell if you're angry. They can tell if you're upset. Excuse me. Well,
that Dayquil.
Did you need a cough drop?
Huh?
The cough drop that I have.
I just took Dayquil.
Okay. I have to make more throat and cough medicine for him. The guy that was spraying some stuff in the farm, and when my husband goes around pick up garbage from the little highway in our country area, because we don't like garbage. He'll do 1 whole mile on this side and then the other side. Pick all the garbage that people dump out the cars. Bottle soda, beer cans, wrappers, McDonald's stuff, or Jack in a Box, or plastic. Because, see, we're polluting Mother Earth, and we don't need to do that. And also, too, it's harmful for the animals. Even with the satangas, they'll grab the peanut butter jar or they'll grab a jar. They know how to take the lid off. Sometimes they'll just with their fingers and then eat it, or they get a stick and they get it out. Depending if their hand is bigger than to get in the jar. So yes, many people don't understand why I gotta clap means Zoom meeting soon. I have a Zoom meeting today in about an hour and a half from now. So I just thought I come on here this morning and speak about that. Don't say, Robin. Many blessings, sweetheart. Thank you for joining. I do want to say that people are trying to make other people feel bad. And I think it's a nature of everyone. And sometimes I believe that it's hard for many people to accept or I want to say this. I want to say in a proper way where everyone should understand. You are you. Only you can control your mouth, and only you can control your mind. And only you can know the pace you can take. There are many people that are jealous, and sometimes they don't know how to react, or they do react in an odd way. And sometimes they don't realize they do it. So when I do try to help and give the advice, and then you didn't hear the advice I gave you, rather just continue doing wrong. So that is you. If you feel you need to do that, do it on your own, then do it on your own. But don't keep on asking the same question and not answering how to do it or what to do. And you want to do it on your own, so you're gonna find out how by researching many different things. Like I said, you're gonna go from one site to another site, back to another, and then back to the beginning. Or you're just not believing in the sources I say. And again, you don't have to. Like I've heard, and this was on someone's videos, just plain out. I don't know they realize they actually said it, but it's okay. That elder doesn't know what the HELL, what I'm talking about. I don't. If I really have to cuss, either I'm really off my top of my head from you, and it comes out. I have the respect for others. When others ask me, "Can you help me? I'm gonna go live. Can you be there to help? Is there anything that you can inform me, or is something there that I can help you understand or make you comfortable?" But if you're calling my bluff, do it in the right way, please. Because I don't make no bluff and I don't lie, because I don't need to have any markings on me. I'm a straight person. And if you don't understand or like what I say, then, tell me, hey, I think you're doing it wrong, or you're saying it wrong, or I'm not just understanding you. But don't go on someone's live or talk about it with somebody, because that person will come back and tell me. Oh, believe me, and this whole world goes round and round, and it gets longer to the next person. But as I tell myself, just pray for them. Pray no matter what. You'll help them if they need the help. If they just feel that there's not much for them to learn, then that's fine. Because I know many people come in and go out. And that's okay. If you don't want to understand what I'm speaking of, the Satangas or the It, the Wingalo, or any other cryptid entities, that's fine. But remember, the spirits will also speak to you. And if you can't understand that, don't come to me either. Because you said you didn't believe in me when I spoke. And it's all good. But I am trying to say is that if you have faith in the Mother Earth and the Creator to go and research in the woods, and if the Satangas have left, you must have done something wrong. Believe me, either a dogman or a Satanga. And yes, they're always together. They have been since the early 18 or beyond that. I know for a fact because I wrote it down in the ledgers and so has other people, my other colleagues, my other relatives. So we always try to bring positive back into the area. If I'm helping a person out, I'm alive. They're not paying me. That was another email. No, it's my honor to go and help that person. So that way they can heal and be alert what is coming in that area. Or many that, as I say, when we research, use many equipments. You got to learn to step on and ask Mother Earth, give you the strength to fight whatever is there. Because sometimes it can be more than what it is. Now, you're using different equipments and you're having EVPs and another thing. You got to remember to cleanse those too and say you're not attaching me because you don't want to open a big old portal. You know what I'm saying? So, oh, Dance, Nicole, finally. Oh, honey, I know you try to come on here when you can. Oh, Dance, Mike, Sanda. Love you, Mama. I love you too, son. Doctors in the morning at 8:40. Can't wait 5 days. Oh, I'm glad. I'm so glad. If anyone wants to come in and join, I'm not sure if anyone wants to, but you're more welcome to join me. I'll put a link if you want to jump in for a little bit or tell me about your sighting or your experience. But like I have said, I won't want to waste my time with anyone that doesn't understand. But again, everyone is to their own. I mean, it's your life, your research, and what you're panning out on Mother Earth, and that's fine. Sometimes they say they don't understand because the other entities, they say, like the giants. Why are the giants still here? Because the Creator, our Father, Jesus Christ, made them. One male, one female. It's always been that way. I can go way back. But again, wanting to understand how many things are. And they say, why the star people? Why the it? Or just, oh, of course, Mike, you're most welcome. That's another one that's like a son to me. So, I try to help and give the best results so that way your journey can go. And two, when you are at it so much, it drains you. It drains your body and your mind. It really does. And when you start feeling fidget and your appetite is not right and you're hardly thirsty or you are thirsty, but yet it puts a toll on your body, puts a toll on your face. You start getting darker and darker. And it's because the more energy you allow BVTs or whatever equipment you're using, it takes from you. It's important to pray and smudge and give respect of Mother Earth and our Father, the Creator. You put down tobacco. You might not have it, that's fine, but you can put down tobacco. If it's just a cigarette, don't, put a little bit, tie it up, then put it in your ear or your pocket or the cigarette thing and smoke the rest later. But many people don't understand. They tell me why spirits are here on Mother Earth. That's because there's a wall that it couldn't go. They didn't have enough strength, or there wasn't enough love and the power of it to return to. Unless, as we say, Hunamahai, they're meant for here to walk Earth. And that their energy would get powerful by walking. Now, and then there was another question. Why do trees move? Sometimes they do need to move closer to another tree to give the healing to it so it can have that better energy and it can grow. They say, well, why does people go out alone and then they say they're not scared, but when something hears a noise, certain noise, so they feel there's something being thrown. Okay, I said not to throw it. I told you, don't scare me. It's a natural thing. Again, another person emailed me asking, why does natives make marking on the mountains? There is a lot of over at Blackfoot Rest, and there's a lot in Arizona on the Navajo by the Thunderbirds too. There's a big Thunderbird marking there. That's also a protection. They tell you what has been there in that area for many, many, many years. There has been like half a dome, and then there's like dots underneath it. That means the star people. Then you see a head with racks and arms and feet. Those are the Wingalos. I mean, we have put down many, many prints, designs, what is out there. Some we make fishes, and it's facing a different way. And that to us, the same food force to eat. And they say, okay, so why do you wear certain color beads? Turquoise is very powerful, as well as amethyst, and it's to be grounded with Mother Earth. They say, oh, the diamond is. No, diamond gives more energy, like for the light, or to give the mean light. I mean, like in the room, or if you're outside by a cave, it can, when the sun hits it, right, you can use it. Or it could be like just like the glass. If it's hot enough, it can make the beam, the little beam, red, and it can poof, start a fire if you have dry enough stuff. But again, this other email that I received, what does the dog man do with spirits? Dog man and spirits, wasn't understanding that question because the way they put it, and I was reading it that way. But what I know is that the dog man runs around to protect the area. Okay, everybody, let's welcome Mike MT Perna. Good morning, Danze.
Hello. Good morning. Good afternoon.
Oh, that's right. You guys are afternoon. I'm mid-afternoon.
Yeah.
It's still early. How you been?
I've been good.
You look a lot more relaxed.
Yeah. I guess, I don't know. Sometimes it changes, I guess.
Yeah, I remember I told you there was times you're going to need a break, and I'm glad you did this time.
Yeah, it had a lot to do with work, and then,
Work?
yeah, it was like, it was about 6 month kind of thing. And then I was, I don't know, I was still kind of, I was kind of having a hard time, um, really thinking I was going to come back. I didn't think I was going to start filming again or start continuing on what I was doing.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't know. I think it was just a change for that time period. So much of a change that it's almost like I just maybe felt like I didn't need to, but then
It
I
calls
kind of
you.
was, yeah, I was on the ropes. I guess the best way to say it is on the ropes. I didn't have a for sure either way, but I was having mixed feelings about it. And then I just started like, I started getting back together with Jack, and I would go film, and then didn't take me long. I realized like, yeah, I missed doing this, and I missed documenting the
There's
interactions.
times that you need a break, and especially you're doing so well, and then you were like head force, and you were you were tensing. So trying to focus back, and then even the energy around you it was like unsettled. And then
Pretty much just
for
like me.
the job wise and stuff. So yeah, it can take a lot and drain you. But that is your calling. But you're allowed to say when you want to take a break and when you
Yeah.
want to continue.
But it definitely, like, the connection coming back again was strong, like real strong. As soon as I started, like I do think there is something different about Jack, the cameraman, and myself, and our connection and wherever we're at.
Right.
And I think something to that kind of started like this reawakening or something going on again. And it's been pretty active, and a lot of things have been happening that caught me by surprise, and piqued an interest that brought me back to the earlier interest when I first started doing it.
Right.
Hey, Jackie.
Jackie says, "Hello, everyone. Sorry I'm late. Getting also and having coffee." Hi, MT.
Hey, Biggie.
Yeah, Biggie's here and John's here.
JP. Hey, JP.
Well, I am honestly glad you did take a break, because towards the end there was a lot of heavy energy. And then I also know that, job wise you were trying to search. But like I said, there's times that, you got to take a break. If you feel it, then you need to. But your guardian angel's always there.
Mm-hmm.
Sometimes it can be, it's in your mind. Oh, maybe I'll go do it. No, maybe I need to spend more time with family time.
Yeah.
But sometimes it's other people don't understand that, hey, we do need to take a break. You have to regroup yourself.
Yeah, and I figured that if I was going to, if I felt like I still was kind of right to keep doing this, I knew I would eventually get back to it, even though there were times where it seemed like I probably wasn't. Like it just because I was busy, I was always working, and I was just kind of like, I'm like, I don't think I'll really ever be able to get out and do things the way I used to. But
Mhm.
then I still kind of had the thought that, I just kind of had a feeling. I'm like, at some point, I bet I'll probably be back at it again. And then that happened. And then it felt like, okay, this is the right time. And I've been back to um, doing, investigations and things regularly. And it feels good. So I think it was, it was right for everything to work out the way it did.
Right. That's good. I'm glad. I know that you went to a new area.
Yeah, there's been a couple. I think
I think there's 3.
there was a couple that I hadn't been to before. Well, let me see. I've been to most of the places I'd been that we've been recently, except for a couple, and they were first time places. The one is the video that'll be up this week, midweek for members, and then it'll be public Saturday. The Malevolent Spirit. That was at a totally different place. Another location that was real close to an interstate highway. And the cameraman, I think, already released his video from this night.
Yeah.
I think that was just recently. So you've seen his point of view, and mine will be up. But that was a totally different area, and like it was the last time we filmed a place that was right along the highway. We had a lot of weird activity there. I even linked that video in that video if you hadn't seen that one, the cryptid encounter, because
Yes.
I got a lot of good still frames and zoom ins of something that we kept seeing watching us. And this night was very like another just a very very interesting kind of interaction. Like the EMF readings have been just so
Very high.
strange and unusual, very high, very strange and unusual. And that's been just about consistent everywhere since I've been back filming, everywhere we've gone. So much so that
Yeah.
it's hard to believe that it's been like that consistent from one different place to another total different place.
Right.
So that's why I kept saying that, it's like some kind of paranormal awakening, something weird, something, something's going on that I don't remember. I've experienced something like that before.
You have experienced many things, and it still leaves you like, what did I miss?
Mm-hmm.
But I know that there was coming back, I was watching and feeling for you. It's like, darn, it's like a deja vu all over again. When you were over by the 2 trees, and then there was like some kind of noise, and Jack said, "Did you hear that?" And I was like, that's when I felt you, man, this is like a deja vu.
Yeah, like maybe they're, like Jack and I, we talk about how we feel some of this. Like I always said that it seems like a lot of it has to do with you personally, and a lot of it I think could be consistently the same entity or spirits or things that have been there before, showing their presence, checking you out, being around you, like coming back and forth and back and forth. Like there's something similar to it at times, but
There's
then there's times where it feels different too, But I do feel a similarity. And like the fan, I know we've talked about the fan thing, which is just it's a weird anomaly that I get with something communicating to me through the device, but it always talks some form of the word fan, like your fan or a fan, or sometimes it has like weird letters G fan, but something about that is so oddly consistent that comes and goes. And I say I don't necessarily understand what the connection is and why it's consistent or who it is, but it's interesting,
You
and when
get
it
there.
keeps happening, it keeps making me wonder, to see, not so much to understand or figure it out, but just to show the interactions more and more, because these are the things I like to do, is let people see what happens, to show them that, there is some kind of a connection that happens. And if you don't believe it, like I didn't, then, these experiences will change you. So I just try to show that.
And it does, and it takes you full blown, not in spurts. It's always a full blown. And yes, many spirits do, or even their orbs around. They're curious. Why are you here? Is there something that, and you yourself will say, hey, is there a way I can help you go where you need to go?
Mhm.
Or were you plan to just stay here? And that's what I was talking about earlier. Because many spirits are blocked, and some spirits are meant to stay and walk among Mother Earth. And those are the ones we call miqua. In other words, like they're protecting what is around.
Okay.
Sometimes people see like a mist and they're like, oh, there goes a spirit. That's one that's walking. And you can catch them. CP caught Mama Rainfeather. And I had said, oh, and I told this to Biggie on his live, that Mama Rainfeather is going to shake a tree and you're going to see some snowflakes coming down and you'll see the outlining of her. And he's like, he didn't even read it, but everybody else are like, oh my goodness, oh my goodness. And then he just read that and he's like, he's right there. I think that's her. And sure enough, CP got that picture.
Wow. I always wondered who it was, whose spirit that connected, that said Ramona's a friend, through the device when I was at Cuyahoga Forest. I always wondered about, you know, who left, where did that message come from, who it was from, um,
Mhm.
and that was something that's probably one of the most, like, um, displays of evidence that, a lot of people are skeptical of using devices that are electronic, that can be manipulated, because just people don't trust who makes them. They're, they're made to just make things seem like they're not. And that's why, I trust my devices, the ones I use, because I've seen things like that as an example, perfect example, to show that they can be used and manipulated by spirits that are there, and it's not just a device that's made to say things,
Right.
because
You can't make,
someone came through and said that. Someone came through and said Ramona's a friend, and you can't just make that up,
no,
it's
no.
impossible.
Many spirits that come from around the world, and if they can pick up who I am, they will speak up, like it did on your device. Other people believe that when one spirit goes, something new comes. So when the spirit is willing to stay with Mother Earth, it's going to go all over. It's going to help everyone to accomplish something, help them on their journey to understand what is there and what isn't. Let's see.
Hey, Nicole. She's
Nicole's
hearing
and um, this is Red. Says hi, John. Sangha says fan groups, fans of fans. Maybe they're saying your channel needs you as a fan.
the fans need you. That's weird. Like, I've always wondered about that, and it seems like, because again, the device doesn't make it doesn't just put messages out. So whenever something comes through, it's because it's manipulated and the energy is actually interacting with the database of the letters. And it's just these things are actually input in the device. And once it's like, I think it works like maybe on a timer or something. Once it starts, once it stops and there's a time limit, then you'll hear the whole thing come through, and they hear something consistently talk about a fan, and it usually relates to like you're a fan, I'm a fan, or like even just weird letters and fan. But just to hear that fan,
Yeah.
it's like too regular and too pretty much impossible to be a coincidence that there's something to that and me.
Danse Red, how are you, sweetheart? Thank you for joining. So now that I have a question for you, Mike. Now that you're back, are you going to start going more, or are you going to go in spurts?
Well, I don't overdo it, and I think like the cameraman and myself talk about it, and I think we're probably not going to push as hard as we have been in the past. I think physically and everything. I think it's
It takes a wear and tear out of you.
Yeah, and it's a lot of hiking. I mean,
Mm.
there have been times in the past where we would be somewhere every day for like 1 week to the next. I'd have like videos that I still like. Honestly, I still have some videos that I never even made from some, because it's just like, not like I said, not everything always happens. And it's not so much that I don't think every encounter was important, but, I kind of will highlight or show some of the encounters that display some of the stranger things or the most unusual things, because most people want to see that, but for like all personal encounters and everything, it's not like none of them, some of them don't matter, but it's just some of them I don't show. And a lot of it had to do with because of the volume of it. Like we filmed so much, and I just, it would be like something would get lost in the time frame because I never did it. And then by the time maybe I catch up and I have some time, it's so far and so long ago. It's like I almost don't want to really show it because it feels like it was so long ago.
Right.
So we're probably going to just keep it pretty mellow so far. We might pick it up. We might pick it up some weeks, but we're probably not going to be doing everyday things like we did last time. But then the cameraman does a lot on his own too. So, even that, he would still do more probably than we did when we were both active a lot. He still would be doing things on his own too.
Yeah, I do believe he does need to take a little breaks in between.
Yeah.
Because it does take a toll of your mind and body. And you need to rejoice, get back the peace and the settle.
Yeah, to like to keep the grounded side to you, Mm-hmm. I think there was something about that's why I well, of course it was work, it was a matter of just supporting myself because, that's something everybody needs to do. And most people, usually have to work regular hours, regular full-time jobs, if not more. So it's like, if you kind of lose track of that and just get lost in trying to, explore and do all these things, you kind of have to sacrifice one way or the other if you're spending so much time doing that. So I kind of like did a reverse, but I kind of getting back to being balanced again, but being grounded, that's one of the things that I always felt was important, is not to get lost one way or the other into what you're doing.
Correct.
Don't spend all of your time doing it and then let everything else suffer, as far as not spending time doing things with your family or work and putting that aside to just be out filming every day and trying to have encounters every day. You got to like stay balanced.
You need to stay grounded, and you also need to learn to keep the balance, because if one weighs more than the other, then you're not allowing the balance in your mind and your body.
Yeah.
And many other energies can take that from you, because that's more power that they get.
Yeah. And it's like, I mean, there's times where, I'd been like neglecting things because it was more just like I would get up and I would make sure everything's charged up. I'd start getting ready and I would pretty much lose sight of all the other things that I needed to be doing. Like the place I live in is a mobile home,
Right.
which isn't that great a shape. And I kind of, neglected a lot of the things that I kind of needed to do to keep it maintained regularly. And that caught up to me, like my roof and things, which I've been catching up on. So, I kind of let some things, take a back seat to just my like just drive to keep wanting to spend more and more time doing things like this. So this year is going to be more balanced for me. I'm going to be keeping things in check.
Good. I know I can feel that you're more balanced. You're relaxed more now. And I like I said, this was your journey, and it's going in the positive way. But towards the end, I did see that you were getting a little tired. So, and I was like trying to push you a little, try to give you some sight that, rest.
Yeah,
Plus,
rest
I
is important.
think you needed to be with the kids too. I kept feeling that one of them needed to be more comfort towards you. Let's see. Red says there seems to always be a power interaction between yourself and entities. Yes, this is true.
I always felt like I referred to it like when I did the interview with Lisa Eastburn. I did explain some of my thoughts, and I thought of like the way I think of what's happening. The way it feels to me is that it feels like we're like beacons. You talk about your frequencies, your everything, your brain waves, your heart rate, everything makes your body like a unique one big like form of signals that's going on that makes you like put off like an aura, you could call it.
Mhm.
And I think that's something that is seen on something like multidimensional being, like a spirit or entities. I think that part of you is something that's recognized way more than your physical look. They see you as frequencies and waves, and that those you create a very unique signature because of who you are. Everything about you, how you feel, everything about you is like, I think from something on that higher of a level or a dimension can see that and recognize and know what you are, who you are. And I think that is what makes interactions happen. That's a big key to it. When things happen, it's because something's coming to you because they're picking up those waves from you, and something about it is what draws them to you. Or it'll push them away from some because of that same thing, but in a way that maybe they don't like.
Right.
And that's something that I call a beacon, like we're beacons for this kind of activity.
They're very drawn
Yeah.
to either one. Nicole was saying, I thought many times I don't see how Jack doesn't get followed home more than he does. Doesn't matter what, it's going to follow you home, but you have to, address it.
Mm-hmm.
Especially Satanga and the dogman. Now, if a dogman felt that you are close to animals, then one will follow you. And Jack does have dogs, and they will go and watch and see how you live. Now, if you're talking about a Satanga, the same thing as a dogman. If you're talking about the other entities, yes. But you also need to, like I say, you cannot follow me home. You cannot attach to my equipment. And there's been times that, he's forgotten, and everyone does. they're just tired, at the coming out. But it is important, try to pray and tell them, I released you from here. You're not allowed to follow me, and it is important because your body can be like a magnet. It feels positive and wants to take more of it. And then it's like you're coming into their territory. They're going to come to your territory, which is your home base. And they want to know how you live, how you eat, what sources do you have there for you and your family. But see, many entities, cryptid, they all do. They come right through, and sometimes we just don't know it. Let's see. Red says some things will be no matter what, but how one is impacted makes a difference on how we end up. This is true. Again, any times that you are visiting anywhere and they do have some kind of unsettled energy, it's going to look for someone that has a higher energy.
Yeah, I'd say like maybe even knowing when to disconnect. That's another thing too.
Some don't know how to disconnect.
Right. Yeah, and I mean, if anything, if you are making an attempt to reach out, make that connection, interact, and for some reason you're starting to feel like, I don't want to do this anymore, something doesn't feel right, to disconnect. And when you do the disconnect, like when I do, that's when I vocalize my intention to disconnect, to let the spirits there, whatever's there, to know, that I'm done communicating for now, and communicate the respect that you appreciate and know that it's special to be connected with, but you don't want them to connect with you anymore. You don't want them to stay with you, or to become part or attached to your equipment. And like the sage is something too that you can do to help make sure that you're disconnecting and nothing is so adamant that it's going to just ignore the respect it has for you. And those are like the main things: the vocalization of the disconnection, to leave, to not stay with you, to even use sage if you need to, or like the medicine bag, things like that. That's kind of my routine, but that's something too that's hard if you don't know how to disconnect. If you just kind of like, I would say the best way to put it is like if you're still afraid, and that means you're still thinking about these things and you haven't disconnected. It's like you have to you have to like do like a wipe. You have to pretend, or not saying to pretend, but you have to let yourself know that you are done.
You have to clear your mind once you come out.
Clear your mind.
You have to clear your mind.
Act like there's nothing else that's going to happen. You have to tell yourself there's nothing else that's going to happen. I'm done, and I'm going to turn off my devices. I'm going to just go on my way, just like if I was just taking a walk, and I'm not going to be trying to keep connecting, because that's something I see people do. They'll try to disconnect, but then as we're leaving, they still keep trying to talk and they still keep trying to connect. And that's where I'm like, I'll let people know that, I'm like, well, I'm like, make sure that, you just made your communication known that you want to disconnect and that you're done, not to attach to me. Good night. But then on your way out, you might still have the device on and you're still listening for replies, or you're still saying things. And I'm like, well, look, man, you have to disconnect. It's like you're still leading some things to try to reach to you. And, that's what I mean by disconnect, is like, you have to shut it off. If you don't, then you're going to end up becoming, maybe scared, or something will still try to follow you.
I have a question? Did you wear your bag on the last live with the cameraman and T-Man?
Well, the last I haven't. I mean, if it was it a live or just a video?
I think it was.
Because I haven't done a live with them.
Maybe it was a video.
That video I did not,
I know.
and that was my first. That was my first time filming back. And to be honest with you, I left it on my nightstand.
I was like,
and I like it was one of those moments again where I went through my stuff. I had my stuff charged, and when I left and I got there and I was putting my stuff together, then I realized I was like, oh. And at that point, I just carried on the best I could and just, didn't worry. I tried not to like worry or overreact or freak out about it. But yeah, and I came back rusty. I was rusty. I went, he and I went all the way out. Like we drove all the way out to those old coke furnaces out in Latonia. And I left my device with my Transcend Theory app. I left it at home. And that was like my main communication device, my main source, the thing that I feel shows the most evidence. And I left it at home. And I freaked out. I was mad. I was really mad because I couldn't believe I did that. And I kept thinking, I'm like, I left my medicine bag that, before I left my main device at home. I'm like, oh my goodness. I'm like, I'm coming back rough.
I was like, hey, they're not wearing their bag. No, I couldn't feel it. I couldn't. I know Jack leaves his in his pocket sometimes or his bag, and I'm like, where? I don't feel Mike's. Wait a minute. So right away, I grabbed my bag and burned some Palo, and I'm like, okay, Creator, be with them, Mother Earth, keep them safe, keep them safe.
Yeah, I've been rusty. I've been really, it's been rough, but I should be all right. I shouldn't be forgetting things anymore. It's been a rough start with like kind of frustrating with forgetting stuff after all that time off.
Yeah.
But,
Red said, if it's a spirit that doesn't come from respect, I don't disrespect. I only come to terms with what the main spirit will choose for the spirit as well as myself. It doesn't matter what kind of spirit's bad, negative or positive. You always got to address it with the positive.
Mm-hmm.
If you have any doubts at all in your mind, it will pick it up and it will take that source, because you're allowing it to take that other energy from you as you have that thought still. And then when the time comes, then you're forgetful. And then you're like, wait a minute. You're going to feel like you have dementia or something. So it's very powerful that you clear your mind and disconnect. It's always important to do that. And if, after you did the prayer and everything, and then all of a sudden you guys are just picking up, what about it? Did you feel that? Did you hear that? You wonder what is really actually going on. You're talking about it again, so you don't want to keep repeating and repeating, because it can still feel you feel it. So that's why I say you got to disconnect. Let's see. JP says, my bags is right here. It sends me goes to the Creator. I'll take with this in the week into the woods. I know Jack has a new bag. He has a black one. Even when he had contact me to do something like yours, so I told him that here's your new one. Take care of it. Well, it's wet. It's fine. It's fine. Look how mine. I mean, Mine is very old.
Mm-hmm.
And then with the leftover of mine, goes back. So I'm going to continue. I usually put mine inside there, and then I put tobacco or loose sage. I mix it together, and I put it in there with my bag. And then when I'm doing something, researching or speaking with my client, I'll put it on me, and then back out again. So
The bear root is good for a while, right? I mean, you can eat it for quite some time. It doesn't
yeah,
really ever get bad, does it?
no. Plus,
Okay.
I'll be bringing some more.
Yeah.
Mine, like I was explaining to, see how I always leave like this, and when people order bags, I leave it in the middle,
Mm-hmm.
easy to come out and pour. Now, mind you, this is my second one, and I've had it like tall as my finger, and I always take a bite. It helps you for migraines, helps you to when you're disconnecting. Also, too, it's important that if you feel confused, zapped, it will help you. It helps you even if you're sick. So, and it does all that. Does anyone have any questions for Mike? Or do you have any questions for me, Mike?
I don't think I've had. I don't think I've really
How
had
you
any questions.
how are you doing on Sage and
Oh, I'm
and
fine.
okay. So it's
I
just
had
a
a
bear
I had a
root.
lot. Yeah, that big bunch I got from you before. What was the other kind in there? One's white, but there's another different one, right? There's more than one kind, isn't there?
The smudge sticks, there's
Yeah.
the white sage,
Yeah.
there's pine, cedar,
Is it
and the
green?
one
Is the one
cedar
green?
probably.
Cedar?
Yeah.
Okay. That must be okay. Is there more than just two kinds in it? I mean,
Yes.
when I looked at it, I could see that there was more white, I think more white sage, but I saw that there were, at least I remembered one other kind.
Yeah, I had put cedar and eucalyptus together. I put
Okay.
eucalyptus and sage together, and then the lavender. I usually just leave it's just the whole flower bush where, you know, lavender is also to help you bring calmness back in. Cedar, pine, white sage, all that is to help the negativity and bad spirits out.
Okay. Yeah, that was the only other thing I was thinking about is like if there's really one time better than the other to use, the
Apollo
different
is
stages.
also good. I'm gonna I have cut some down where you can like take with you. Instead of carrying a big old sage with you, you can. Do I have one? Oh, I have it in the box over there. They're like little chips of the Apollo. You
Hmm.
can burn that and like smudge yourself, smudge Jack, Trapper, whoever you guys are, wherever you're with, and you can just once it's done burning, you just smudge. You can just leave it in Mother Earth,
Okay.
and it'd be because it's just little chips. So I'll bring some of those for you too.
All right.
Okay. Oh, you answered my next question. Nicole has some little things going on, and I was telling her how to pray and to smudge and stuff like that. So it's the same thing how you guys were doing with the cayenne pepper and the rock salt, doing the protection around the house and door areas when you guys went to go bless um, a lady's home
Hmm.
because they were right
Yeah,
in
what
her.
the kids saw something, and I think there was some strange things, if I remember right, inside
Yeah.
as well. Yeah, it was
Mm-hmm.
a while ago, but I remembered. Yeah, I remember doing that. Remember that.
I don't feel she's had any more problems. So I haven't felt anything. I do, and time to time, I do paragraph to go out there and see if there's different things. I know Jack said that he went out there to the place that we told him to go. I think you were with him.
Yeah, that was the when we went to the Cherry Valley, um, the old coke furnaces over in Latonia.
Yeah.
Yeah, I thought like the whole I was so like kind of just upset that I forgot my Transcend Theory app on my phone. I was like, I'm like, it's all ruined. I'm like, that's it. This whole this whole thing is like ruined now, you know. And I had another phone with me, and I was able to like I don't do too often, but I was able to like um, connect it to my phone as a hotspot, and then I was able to connect to the Play Store, and then I re-downloaded my Necrometer app because for some reason the phone wouldn't take another copy. It wouldn't take a copy of the Transcend Theory for some reason. So I got that video, that Malevolent Spirit video, that was the same time when we were there. We just moved, we went to a different area. We went from the coke furnaces to a different area. And I was using the Necrometer for that, which I hadn't used in a while. I think the last time I used it was when that voice came through that said Ramona's a friend at Cuyahoga Forest. But I did use it. So it wasn't like totally, you know, it ended up actually being pretty amazing still, but I just was able to salvage it by doing that and downloading that. So I still had a communication device.
Did you smudge it?
I don't think I did smudge it. I kind of like, I go around
I know you
myself
prayed
and I
over it.
hold it. I hold it. I go around myself and I hold it. So I guess I did. I kind of like don't really separate it like by itself. Sometimes I do, but usually I'll go around me while I'm holding it. So I guess that to me, I thought that works.
Yeah, but I still feel you need to do it one more time though.
Okay. I could do
If you
that.
can. Yeah, just one more time. Nicole says, when I smudge, is there certain things you say? I already gave you all the information to do that, but you have to make sure, like I said, do the closet, the doorway in and out. And if you were able to get a little bit of the river water, that's good. All right. Well, I'd like to thank you, Mike, for joining me.
Oh, thanks for having me on.
You're like a son to me, and I tend to peekaboo at you to see. Just to see if you and your son are doing good.
Yeah, thanks. You know, everything really stemmed from you helping me do this. So, you know, for this, for things that how they've gotten so far and the connection and everything that I've come to realize, and you know, it's because of, you know, you guiding me and helping me. So, you know, I always appreciate it, and
Of
I
course,
always
I'm
listen.
always here for any information, or if there's anything that you think you are confused about, or you might need my assistance in something, or how to go about it. I'm always here to help you.
And you're
Day
going
or
to be
night.
coming around soon, right?
Yeah.
That'll be good. That'll be
Yep.
good. Good to see you.
Yes, it would. It would be good to see you too. Um, it it would be Alicia, Biggie, Jackie, and myself. I'm not sure if another person was coming or not, but so far I know that. I land over there in Grand Rapids, Michigan, on the 26th
This month?
at 3. At 3 o'clock.
Okay.
Yeah.
How long you staying?
8 days.
8 days? Okay.
I go back on the 3rd. So I'll be out there, and like I said, we all get together.
All right.
I'm looking forward, and thank you everyone for joining.
Thank you.
Thank you, Mike, for coming on. Everyone, let's all have a good journey for today and be blessful. And I thank you all. I hope you learned something from Mike and myself, and I would like everyone to be very careful. Remember to love yourself. You got to take care of yourself first. Like I told Mike, love yourself first. All right, everybody. Nicole, JP, Red,
Thanks,
Jackie,
Biggie.
Roger, Biggie. Let's see. Marcy. And Michelle. I am so sorry to drop in to say hello, but I am listening. Okay, sweetheart. But thank you. And if I forgot Griff, John, thank you. If I forgot anyone, I do want to say many blessings. I'll keep my prayers going for everyone. And thank you for being here. And we say hi, hi. Much blessings. Thank you, everyone.
Good night.
Good night.